In this tutorial, we will look at how you can create the first part of a project management app, so the project overview and project details page. Let's start by creating a Canvas app that will show and display our projects. So let's call it Project Tracker. And we will just choose the tablet as the format. Great. I will just turn off autosave because I like to save and do my own version comments. Let's start by adding a header. I'll insert one of my library components. I have a link to another video that displays how you can create this type of component. Let's insert the component. Let's give it a text. All right, so the main idea is that we have a list of projects, and to that list of projects, we also have a list containing tasks for that specific project. So we will need two lists, a project list and a task list. And we'll create that in SharePoint. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's call the first one projects. Let's leave the title column as is. And then let's add a status column of type choice. Let's save that one. And let's also add a description. So I have a title for the project, project description, status. You could add a project responsible if that's what you want, but let's just keep it this way. And I'll just show the ID. It makes it a bit easier for us to follow up on the amount of tasks. Great, so that's the first list. Then let's add a second list. And that would be the tasks. So list, blank list. Let's keep the title column as the title of the task. I will create a lookup that will connect this task list to our main list, meaning enabling us to connect tasks to a specific project. The list or the source for this list needs to be the projects, and then choose the title for that list. It shouldn't be the list itself. It needs to be, of course, the project list as the source, and then the title, and then save. So we have the title and project name. And of course, we also have a status on a task. So to do progress and done. All right, so this is a very simple structure on a project list and a project task list. Maybe we should also just add a description to a task. So let's do that. Great. So now we have 4 custom properties to our project task list. Maybe we should also just show the ID column value in this one, just for us to keep track of the rows. All right. Let's just save this Power App quickly. It's saved. Let's go back. Now I would like to create some environment variables that connects me to the SharePoint list And these environment variables will help us during the ALM process, which it will normally have. So if we move the app between environments, we can update the link to different SharePoint sites depending on your scenario. So I will just create some. What I normally like to do is naming the variable starting with the project or the solution name, just to keep track of it in the environment, because basically all the environment's variables are available for you in the app. So if you share an environment among a lot of apps, you can get confused by the naming of the apps. So I'll call this project. And choose data source, connector, SharePoint. Just choose a connection, and I'll choose site. Your site value, and select your site name. Hit save. That was the main site URL. Then I need to connect to the two lists. That's the project list. And choose SharePoint connector. Choose list. Then choose the variable that you just chose or you just created. And choose not the project task, but the projects list. Save that. So that was the first list. Let's create the last environment variable. Project trigger task list. So again, data source, choose the connector, the connection, and list, and choose the site. And then choose the current list value, which will be the project tasks. Save. All right, so now we are ready for the app to connect to the list. So let's edit the app. So on our front page, let's call it home. I would like to display a list of projects. So basically we would insert a gallery that gives us a quick overview of all the projects that is inside this list. So to do that, I will first just create some placeholder projects on the SharePoint side so we have something to work with in order to set it up. We'll go to the projects list and create a few projects. Save. Let's create one more project. 2. All right, great. Now we have the projects created. So let's connect to that list through a gallery. So first, let's set up the data. And we choose SharePoint as a data source. And go to advanced. Choose the main site URL that we just created. And then again in list, choose advanced. And then we would like to connect to the project list in this case. All right, that is connected. So let's insert a gallery. But before I do that, let's just insert a container so that we can get a cool drop shadow effect. So we have our container. And then let's insert the gallery. So let's insert a blank vertical gallery. Then let's connect it to the data source we just added to our app. Great. So let's try to style it a bit. First, we'd like to make the template a bit smaller. This is the template. And then inside this one, we would probably like to add a text label like this. Project 1. And let's say above this list, we would probably need to have some label names. So project name. Let's make it bold. Let's copy this one. Let's give it a, let's say we want to have the status here. We'll copy this one, Control C, Control V. And then this would be in the text property, this item dot. Let's choose the status and the value. So both of these are to do. Okay, let's resize this a bit and then move the status or the title labels a bit around, and then again adjust the template size a bit, and let's move the labels a bit. And let's insert an icon. When we press this icon, we will move to the task screens. It will show the details of the actual project. So we could choose right, like this one. Just make sure that whenever you choose the icon that you have selected the template, so you don't stand outside, so make sure that the icon is actually inside the gallery. So let's make this one a bit smaller. Great. And let's add a sort of a separator between our objects in the gallery. So insert a rectangle. Just make it the full width. You could choose, instead of just dragging, let's say width would be parent width. So we'll follow the actual width of the parent. And let's make the height a bit smaller. Like that. All right, great. So now we have the list of projects that will help us transition into the task screen. So let's create a screen for the tasks. So let's just choose a blank screen and say project details. And on this screen, let's insert the header component again. Let's call it project details. Let's say it's kind of the same concept as the first screen. We would like to have this box sort of thing. So let's just copy this one and paste it into this one. And let's just keep the gallery as is. We don't need the icons. All right, so we sort of have the main template for the list of tasks for a specific project. So to help us actually visualize what we're doing, let's just create a few tasks for each project. So let's go into the project tasks and let's create some tasks for the projects. All right, so I've created a few tasks for the two projects, and that can help us again visualize the specific task for the specific selected project in the app. So in this gallery, we would like to show the tasks and the status. So to do that, we need to switch our data source, so to speak. So we need to add one more data source in our app. And that should be a SharePoint data source. And then the main side, and then we go to advanced, and then it's the project trigger task list we need to connect to. So with that one done, we will be in the project details in gallery 1. Let's just rename this one gal tasks. And this one, let's rename the gallery on the first page to gallery projects. The naming convention I'm using here is just for an easier search. So I know if I need to find a gallery, I can just search GAL to find that. Right. So on this page, we need to, on the project details page, we need to select another data source for it. So choose the project trigger task list. Now you can see a lot of tasks per se. So let's just make this one a bit smaller. We'll just do some quick stalling. So I've just made the box a bit smaller because then the idea is that we have sort of the overview here of the task for a specific project, and then we could have some more details like the description in a box for itself. So when we choose a specific task, we can then show the actual description for that task in a box here. But I think the first thing we need to solve is to filter the task list based on what we choose on the front page. So to filter the list, we can utilize the filter function. So this one, project trigger task list. And then we would like to filter on the column project name in that list, then the value that column has. And then what we need to compare it with is the actual selected value from the gallery of projects. All right, so there you have it. There's a simple filter of the selected. So if I go to the main list here, and I will just say on select, where is it? There is it. Do a navigate to the project details. So if I choose this one, it filters out the task for project 2. If I go back and I choose project 1, it filters out the project task for project 1. Let's try to add a container for the description for each task. So again, let's add a container. Let's add a text label, just specifying description. And then let's add another label that will contain the actual text. So the text should be gal task dot selected dot task description. There we can make it a big box for the description. All right, let's do the last details. So for example, let's rename this one to task name. It's more descriptive of what's actually been showing on the list. And let's also add a label for the project name. That would be gal project.selected.name. Okay, cool. Let's see it in action. So here we have the front page with the projects. We can see the project name and status, and then we can go to the project details page. That will show us the task for a specific project. And on the right side, we have the description for a specific task for that project. And we can see the status of the task. So that was it for the first part. I hope you enjoyed it, this first part of the project management app. In the future, I will try to create a video showing you how to update and create new projects from this Power App. As of right now, it's just from the SharePoint list. So subscribe to stay updated on our latest content. Until next time, stay awesome and build awesome apps.